everyone. Sorry for the slightly delayed start there. Ghost in the machine as always. Welcome to our social agency hangout. I've got Bill Boorman here. This is a follow-up hangout to the one we did back in March, Cool Recruiter Tools with Craig Fisher and Amanda Ashworth. Bill's going to take us through a few of the tools he finds useful for recruiting, especially for recruitment agencies. I think most of these weren't mentioned last time, were they, Bill?
I think there's one or two that cross over because they are cool. So I guess that's confirmation of the fact that, you know, if Craig likes it, Amanda likes it, and I like it. Then it's going to be pretty good.
Then they're really worth checking out. Then
they're well worth looking at. And then depending on what we're doing, you know, constantly Craig and myself are discovering new ones and figuring out new ways to use different tools, perhaps not in the way they were built, but from a sourcing point of view.
Yeah. Well, if you want to join in, please, on Twitter, please put hashtag social agency. Any feedback to anything Bill says, any suggestions of your own are welcome. We've got a social agency group on Facebook and a social agency community on Google Plus as well. So please do feel free to contact us. I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
hashtags. Well, they've just gone into LinkedIn and Facebook, haven't they, or just LinkedIn?
Yeah, they're just the app messages and hashtags are going into LinkedIn and Facebook, so we'll actually be able to get those everywhere. Yeah.
Well, I'll keep an eye on the mentions and the hashtags and whatnot. So if I'm looking away, I'm not ignoring you, Bill. But I'll let you take it away and tell us about these recruiting tools.
Yeah. And if you do fire anything out, Louis, if you just want to interrupt me, that's absolutely fine. Okay. I'm going to go back and look at 14 cool recruiting tools, and I think some of you looking in may have seen this presentation before. It's something that I delivered at the Recruitment Agency Expo, also in Vegas for the National Placements Association, the MPA. So it's not new, but it's something that I'm constantly being asked to go back and have a look at this in terms of what will be my 14 cool recruiting tools. Probably a strange way to start a webinar entitled Cool Recruiting Tools is to say that I don't really think we have cool recruiting tools. What I think we have is people who use tools in a cool way, which is some of the things we're going to look at, and some of the things are very simplistic, just to really give you an idea of just to really give you an idea of what's available and what's possible. So let's just kick off and say, right, where should we go first? I think the first tool I want to have a look at is the Recruiter Bar. The Recruiter Bar is was developed by my friend Ryan Leary. Ryan is an active sourcer for Connexa, and I think he's built the tool that would have been useful to him. He also has a very good blog called Recruiting Tools, and took recruiting tools into the recruiting blogs family. So he works with recruiting blogs, and this one's pretty interesting. It's the Recruiter Bar. What I like about the Recruiter Bar is it kind of makes, for a recruiter, it makes your life fairly easy, or easy to be lazier, or lazier about the effort you need to expend. I think that's the point with all of these tools. They make things simpler and easier. So the Recruiter Bar is preloaded with 50 searches. So that's 50 Boolean strings which have been built for you, and Ryan is one of the experts at Boolean strings, so he's built it pretty well. But you can set your own locations and keywords. Now that's really useful to us in the UK because it means it's not purely US centric, which can be an issue when you're operating something like a database. So you can set your own locations, keywords, geek words, whatever you want to put in there, and it's updated in real time. So because it's online and live, if ever anyone wants to, if anything changes with Google or Google algorithm, it's live. It's live and it's updated in real time. So you know that you're always going to be having the current version of Google. And we know that the guys at Google like to mess around with their algorithms and try and outfox people all the time, and we try and beat them. It's kind of a game of cat and mouse sometimes. So that's updated in real time, and it gives you web and social search. So you can do all your searches in one place. It'll build the algorithm for you, makes it nice and easy. And on the back of that, there's about 100 plus add-ons, tools, and downloads. So every time there's a new tool coming out that looks interesting, that's added to the recruiter bar, as well as a pull down. There's a pull down menu for webinars and that kind of thing. Other good thing I like about this is it comes with the magic number. It's free, so we don't
That's
need
good.
we don't need to pay for that. Of course, nothing in this world is totally free, so the price you pay is a couple of adverts across the top of the toolbar. And a drop down but you get a drop down for recruited webinars. So I strongly recommend you go and download the recruiter bar and have a go at that and have a play around with it. I think you'll like that. You'll like that a lot.
Any browser, is it?
Any browser, recruiter bar will work with any browser. So
and you can save. Can you save your searches? Can you?
You can save search. You can save your searches historically. You can go backwards and forwards. It's a nice one to play around with, and what I like about it is it means that we don't need to. You don't need to remember your Boolean strings or say, well, actually, have I put a plus or a minus or bracket in the wrong place? So it makes it really simplistic. So I'm a big fan of that. Next one I'm going to look at is not a free product; it's a paid product, but it's one that I think is worth going back and having a look at if you're doing any kind of serious level of sourcing, really, and that's the Social CV, Bill Fisher's product. I think a lot of us know and have seen Bill on the circuit, and know he's kind of the mad scientist who sits in his office tinkering around with Google and all kinds of different searches. And the Social CV is the main product. It's just recently been acquired by Dice.com for quite a good price, and anyone listening in from the US, it's integrated into the Dice job board through open web, so it's available free through Dice if you're a Dice user. If you're not a Dice user but you want to have a look at it and have a tinker around with it, go to Dice.com and have a look at open web search, because it's a very cool web searching tool within a job board. So what is the Social CV? Social CV is semantic data aggregation. Kind of fancy term. So to explain what semantic data aggregation is, ever since 1996, with the launch of 6 Degrees, there's been social networks, and wherever there's social networks, people have been leaving footprints in different places. The problem is that their accounts aren't necessarily connected. So they might have a Facebook account in one name, they might have a LinkedIn profile in a different name, or a different listing, which might be their proper name. They may use a pseudonym on a different account somewhere else. And what the Social CV does is, once it's got one data point, one point of investigation, then spiders the web and draws people into a giant database. There's over 130 million profiles which have been compiled, covering 328 countries. So it's really stored within the giant database in the cloud. So what it allows you to do is also connect with social accounts. So you can say, right, okay, this is where this person is in LinkedIn, this is where they are on Facebook, this is their Foursquare, this is their blog, and to see it all in one single aggregated profile. So I think that's pretty cool. I always think the Social CV is the benchmark that people should go and have a look at. Congratulations to Bill Fisher on the acquisition, on actually the investment from Dice. I think we're also, with this investment, going to see some new things coming out of Social CV, which is going to make it interesting. But
Bill's staying. Is he staying with them?
Yeah, Bill and John are very much staying with the product and developing it, and you know, Bill's a bit of the mad data scientist, so he'll be tinkering around in his shed creating new products.
He's usually at True, isn't he? If someone wanted to say hi to him.
He's at all the True events. He's also going to be in True New York, True Orange County, which is coming up. So he's going to be around. The next one I want to have a look at is a Chrome extension. I think we undervalue, and answers on a postcard. Here's a quick quiz question for you. There will be a prize. What's the difference between an extension and an application? Answers on a tweet, please, to hashtag SocialAgency. So what's the difference between an extension and an application? Okay, so first one, I can hear people Googling the webinar now. So the next one I'm coming up with is Who Works At. Who Works At is a Who Works At is a Chrome extension in the Chrome store. I think you should really spend time going into the applications and tools in Google Chrome and just play around, just mess around with them and have a look, because there's lots there constantly being added that you could use as recruiters. But this is what Who Works At does. Any web page that you look at, so any web page that you come up with, you can, the Who Works At sits on your toolbar, you can pull it down and it will give you a list of any LinkedIn connections you have who work at that company, which and also an introduction to your second and third degree connections on both Twitter and LinkedIn. So sits in the corner of your screen till you need it. Drop it down. Who works at? Who do I know in that organisation? So whenever you see a web page, that gives you a chance to have a look at it. I think it's an excellent way for either selling, recruiting, sourcing to get in and have a look at both Twitter and LinkedIn and say, right, okay, this is a company I'm interested in. These are the people that I know. What's my route? Who sits in the middle? Who can be the messenger? Who can introduce me?
I've certainly told all our sales chaps to use it. So
you have sales chaps, do you? You have
sales chaps. That's what I call them. Yeah.
Sales chaps. That's what you call them. That's what you call them in Norwich. It's
we're British. We're a British-based company, you know.
No, you're a Norwich-based company.
Norwich-based.
A very good company, but you can tell it's a UK webinar when someone uses the term chaps, and you can also tell that it's live. I thought chaps were trousers, but that's a whole different story.
Just to distract people from that, Amanda says an extension sits on the toolbar and an application is a program. Is that right?
It's a little bit right, but I'd like a more technical answer than that, please, Amanda. You don't get away with that one that easy.
And another one from Robin. An app is like a website. An extension modifies the browser. It extends beyond one site. Do I win?
Any more answers? Keep coming in. Keep coming in. We'll pick one of the right. We'll pick one of the right answers out. One of the right answers at random. But that one from Robin sounds a pretty good one. Which Robin is that?
Robin's schooling.
Robin Schooling. Robin Schooling listening in. Hi, Robin. So Who Works At? And I will come back with more answers. And I'm fairly sure Robin Schooling didn't answer that one, so we'll have to send a prize to the person who gave her the answer. Jumping on to Triangulate. Triangulate again is one of my. It's another application that we really like. I think when we're talking about sourcing, what really helps us is to know who the middleman is, who can refer us. So who can actually pick us up and say, who would sit between Louis and Bill and some chaps that we want to reach. So we use Triangulate to do that. Well, what Triangulate is as a tool, again, comes with the magic number. It's free. What Triangulate does is it enables me to take one Twitter name and put it against mine, and it will tell me who the person is who has the best relationship with me and the best relationship with them. So it's not just somebody who's connected with both of us, although it will tell me who my mutual, it will say 70 people who follow you also follow Louis Welcomme, but it will tell me who is the closest person. The way Triangulate calculates the strength of a relationship, and this is actually used in all the algorithms. You know, the algorithms that you see for people who are recommended that you might want to follow, people who are recommended in LinkedIn that you might want to connect with. What it does is measures the transactions. So who is the person who I talk to the most on Twitter, and who talks to me the most, who also talks to you. So not only who sits in the middle, but who sits in the middle and has a relationship with either of us. And that's that is based on @messages. So if I send an @message in Twitter, @Bill Boorman to @Louis Welcomme, and I do that more than any other time, it will calculate my closest relationship is with Louis, or Amanda Ashworth, or Robin Schooling, or whoever else is listening in. It gives me Twitter analytics to triangulate, so it will give me a breakdown to say, this is the best time to go and talk to this person. These are your mutual followers. These are lists that you share. What lists I'm on and what lists they're on is a good way to see actually how much do we have in common, because the more similar we are, the more lists we're going to share. And it will also show me what's called the inner circle. In any network, you have an inner circle and an outer circle. The inner circle are those people who you are closest to, who you have the most interaction, who you talk to the most. The outer circle is those people who sit on the outside. Magic number, it's free. It's free. So Triangulate again is another free application I think is well worth having a look at. I'm going to bring this one up because it's one that we're all familiar with because we're sitting on it now. We're using it now. I'm not seeing a quick enough uptake or broad enough uptake in this particular application. So I'm going to bring it up again. Google Plus with Air. Google Plus with Air. Louis, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about Google Plus with Air, because you host this hangout every week. So tell us what your thoughts are.
Well, what it is, or what I think of it.
What it is and what you think of it. And why you use it as opposed to, say, something like a go to my webinar or go to my meeting.
Well, you persuaded me to. So, but essentially, if you've got a individual profile on Google Plus, you can set up a Hangout if you have a camera, or you can just have a microphone. You can invite any of your friends. I don't know if that's the right word on Google Plus. You can invite whole communities.
Let's call it something else. What term shall we call them? What shall we call them? We have friends on Facebook. We have followers on Twitter. We have connections on LinkedIn. What shall we call them? Circle chaps, Louis.
Circle chaps.
Circle chaps. So suggestions on the hashtag social agency. Send us your suggestion on what you think we should call Google Plus, folks. Carry on.
So you can put people into circles and you can invite whole circles. You can make it public, private. So it's got a sort of Skype element where you can have friendly webcam chats with your friends or whatever. But you can also have a sort of a webinar style hangout like we're doing now, where you can broadcast it to as many people as you like, but also have multiple guests on at once.
Yeah, and I broadcast through London. I broadcast through London through a hangout.
Yeah, you can broadcast events, whatever you wish for it. The on-air aspect is an optional tick, so to speak, where you can broadcast it, stream it live on YouTube. As soon as the hangout's finished, the video is also uploaded straight onto YouTube. So you have the recording there for people to watch, and you can embed that on a website like we've done here. So people are going onto the colleague website and watching it live.
That's where I think the real strength is that it is as well as the openness and how easy it is to use, as well as the fact that it comes with the magic number and it's free. Anyone can log in. There's not a need to download stuff like you do with GoToMyMeet. There's not a complicated. Most of the online broadcasting has some form of cumbersome login process.
Yeah.
Which could,
well, it's usually a way of capturing data, isn't it? So whoever's hosting the webinar. I mean, that's probably one of the disadvantages of Google Air from a sales marketing point of view, is that the analytics and stats are slightly more difficult to
Yeah,
ascertain.
although one of the ways that I would always do it is if you were using a dedicated web page, have a login to the page.
Yeah.
Rather than the webinar, and that's pretty easy. And you can do that so people register for the page using something like a Constant Contact or a Mailchimp. So there are ways to acclimatise your list. It's just that you have to kind of hack something into it rather than. But
it's meant to be casual. It's meant to be easy to use. Hence they called it a Hangout rather than a webinar tool or whatever. And once done, it's straight onto YouTube and it's there forever. So so there's a lot of advantages to doing it.
All recorded, and when something's recorded to YouTube, it's owned by Google, and we know that Google promote best in Google searches. They promote Google product first and foremost. So it's great for you. Next one I want to jump on to is Reportive. Reportive as a product, I think quite a few people are familiar with it. I've never actually had someone say to me, I use Reportive and I've got rid of it. I don't use it anymore. So I think everybody is using Reportive. Those people who use Reportive have always come back to me and said they love it. It works in both Gmail and Chrome extension, and now Outlook, which isn't on the screen. What it does is it takes social contacts from email. So any of the emails that come into you, it will show you, here's the social connections for these people. This is where you can connect with them. You can make it location-based, so you can say, show me the social profiles of people who sent me emails, or I sent emails to, who are just in Birmingham or just in Norwich or wherever you want to do it. And it takes LinkedIn and other profiles. So the other thing I quite like with it is it sends you reminders. So it will say, right, okay, you've been exchanging emails with this person, with this target, with this client, with this candidate. You've been exchanging emails over time, but you still don't have any. But you still don't. You're still not connected with them on LinkedIn, or you're not following them on Twitter. Or you're not friends with them on Facebook. So it will give you suggestions as to people who actually know you're dealing with them, but you're not connected, and ask you when the email comes in, do you want to connect? Magic number, also free. So I think Reportive is another one that you should all go away and have a look at.
You mentioned for Outlook. I don't want to repeat myself from last time. Is there a Reportive for Outlook, or are you just talking about the sort of equivalent?
There's a Reportive plugin. There's a Reportive plugin through LinkedIn.
Right. Okay. I need to have a look at that.
Yeah, have a look at that and have a play around. Next one I want to have a look at. This again, whenever I bring this up in presentations, there's two things that surprise me. Number one is I think there's a little bit of a surprise that I've even included it in Cool Tools. The second one is it never ceases to amaze me how many people are not aware of this particular functionality or this particular tool. It's Google Advanced Search. You know, when you complete a Google search, or when you go to your Google search bar, at the side of the search bar, you'll see advanced options. What Google Advanced Search is Boolean without operators. It basically means anybody can search. And anyone can search without the need to remember, do we put brackets here, do we put minuses here, what's the shape, what kind of stuff do we put in there? You know, I think Boolean is a very good way for trainers and people who do sourcing to look scientific. It's kind of like, yes, we go into the Google machine and we put in our brackets and our minuses and we do our magic code, our operators, we call them things like operators and so on, and then we send it out and it all goes around and Google comes back with the magic answer. Don't need to do that. Don't need to remember that stuff, because Google Advanced Search gives you a form to fill out, which does all that for you. It will say things like site. So you can go in site, URL, LinkedIn, site name, country, location, including these words, not including those words in the title, this type of document. So you can search for instance, a PowerPoint or a picture or a JPEG or something I've been using to source people on using research documents. You can add and or not site and lots of different things. and you can save your searches and alerts. So you can do two things. You can save the search, and you can set an alert to say, if this search brings up a new result, send me an alert to tell me that's happening. Really simple and intuitive. So every recruiter, in my belief, should use Google Advanced Search rather than Google Search, because it makes it dead simple and means we don't have to rely on memory of getting our algorithm right. The other thing I'm going to give a shout out for as a useful application, if you actually want to learn Boolean, if you want to learn to search properly, it's useful to understand something of the way websites are made, and something of the way that the web works, something about coding and so on. Code Academy is a free learning platform built by programmers. Absolutely brilliant for you to learn everything from CSS, Python, programming and so on. I'm not suggesting you do that, but if you do the first section, you will learn about Boolean search. So it will take you about 2 hours to complete, and is all you need to know to learn about Boolean and how the web works in order to be able to interrogate it. That's Code Academy. So let me recommend to any of you that you go away and you go away and have a go at that, and actually start having a look, learning and thinking.
We have,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt, Bill.
Yes.
Mark Burton says Google
Yes.
Plus folks should be called your crowd.
Should be called the what?
Your crowd. Your crowd.
I think that's a good shout. Your crowd.
Your gang.
Crowd, your gang. My googly gang. My googly gang. Yeah.
And Amanda has just mentioned to do with Hangouts, Google Plus Hangouts. Apparently, you can extract the audio file and then make it into a podcast.
It's a podcast. Yeah, we don't see enough podcasts. I think we don't see enough podcasts these days. So, thanks for that, Amanda. Anything else on the Twitter stream? It's good to know people are listening.
Yeah, Robin's having a look at Triangulate.
Yeah.
Says it sounds fascinating. No one else at the moment.
No else. So
same lot. It's the same lot.
At least we've got 3 listeners, but they are in 2 countries, so that's always pretty useful. 2 continents, I should add. Emailextractorpro.com. There are lots of email. There's quite a few email extractor products. This is the one that I use. Again, comes with the magic number. It's free, but there are other email extractors that you can use. The emailextractorpro.com extracts emails from search engines, web pages, and databases. So we go into Google Advanced, we do our search, we say, actually, what we want to get is all of the email addresses out of this result list because we want to email all these people. How do we do that? Well, we just use Email Extractor Pro. We come up with a page. It says, right, here's your 5 pages of Google results. So, right, we're not going to look at the pages. We just want to take out the email addresses and the names because we want to build a mailing list or an approach list on that. So we use Email Extractor Pro to do that. And it verifies for accuracy. It guesses. So if you are Louis at colleague.eu and all of the email addresses on the page are at colleague.eu and uses your first name, it will guess that's what your email is, but it will send off an email and ping it back and say, yeah, that's accurate. It works the way we want it to do. Within Email Extractor Pro, you can use advanced keyword searches, so you can use your keywords to say, I want to extract all the email addresses, but only the ones that say this. So could be job titles, could be skills, depending on the nature of the page. You can use limiters and filters, which means you can say, I want to see these types of results, but not this type of result. Very easy thing to play around with. And you can export and save your lists really easily. There is a paid-for version, as with all of these, but and I think it's only about $50 actually. So there's a low-cost paid-for version, but there's also a free version you can use at emailextractorpro.com. That's the one I use. Anyone else with any other suggestions for any of those, please file them in. Next one I'm going to have a look at is Bullhorn Reach. What is it I like about Reach, and I'm going to talk particularly about Reach. One is the recruiter profile, a recruiter profile custom image. I think Reach is a great product used in completely the wrong way by 99% of those recruiters who use it. It's used as job spam. And one of the custom messages that comes out, and I always want to reply, is, "Are you a good fit for this job?" To which I always reply, "No." I kind of think that's a crazy standard message, but the bits which
there are better tools out there if you're just going to post all the time, surely.
Yeah, there are better tools for pure job posting or job distribution. But the sections that I like on there is Radar. Radar is Radar takes predictive internet behaviours. There's also a new product which has just come out, again free, that is Radar-like, but that you can use on your own ATS that works very well, which is called Signal, from my friends at Jobberate, from Mackie Kako. So you might want to have a look at Signal from Jobberate and see what that does. Similar sort of thing, which is looking at predictive internet behaviours. Predictive internet behaviours, normal human beings don't behave like recruiters. So normal human beings have a LinkedIn profile, which they do nothing with until they decide they want to have a look for a job. And then when they decide they want to have a look for a job, they start changing things. They will update stuff. They'll go and get some more recommendations. They'll start to connect with recruiters. They'll be constantly meddling around and moving parts of their profile backward and forward. So as soon as they start doing one of these things, and they've done it 5 times, it's an early warning system that they're looking for a job, and it's about 85% accurate. It's about 85% accurate once you step outside. Another tool, actually, I want to mention, which is free to everyone on LinkedIn, which does this and does it on scale and enables you to search all of LinkedIn, not just your connections, is LinkedIn Signal. LinkedIn Signal. Not on the list, but it's another one that I was reminded of when I look at it. When I look at it this week, just how powerful it is for actually saying, anyone on LinkedIn who changes their job title or does this or does that, send me an alert. So go away and have a look at LinkedInSignal.com. Again, it's a free application. The other part that I really like... Go on, sorry, Louis.
Sorry to interrupt again, Bill. Whilst we're on that, in the last Hangout I mentioned Job Change Notifier, and then had a look around and got recommended by Craig, I think it was, or Amanda, a better one called simply Sales Log Job Change Alerts. It seems to be far more accurate. It sends an update every day, and it simply lets you know on any of your LinkedIn connections anyone who's changed a job and anyone who's changed their headline on their LinkedIn profile. Yeah,
which is an indication of something. Gives you a reason to connect with people.
Yeah, I mean, they might, it's already happened perhaps, but it's a fairly useful tool, and it just shows what your network's doing. And I found that one to be a bit better than the one I mentioned last time around. So,
okay.
Sales Log Job Change Alerts. I'll put it on the page afterwards. So.
Yeah, please do that. Put that up there. And anyone else with any other tips, any other cool tools, fire them into us. Keep them coming on the hashtag. That's very good.
A quick question from Robin, sorry, quickly about Bullhorn Reach before we move on. I've heard that job seekers on Bullhorn Reach can update stuff, and it shows on recruiters' dashboard. How does this work? Does that make sense? Yeah.
How does it work? Basically, you have the option. So you could either apply or talk to a recruiter about a job. If you're applying for a job, or you can say, actually, just send my details to recruiters, and you could effectively put it into a database which you can update. And when you update it, you can alert people that people have got changes, or recruiters can choose to follow a particular CV or resume, or follow a particular candidate for, if anything changes, notify me. So that's a candidate action. I think it's something they didn't plan on when they put it up. They just learned that. The other feature that I think we is not used nowhere enough is the engage feature, or the engage share bar. What engage is it enables you to do. I think when we're talking about content, one of the common things recruiters are telling me is to say, yes, Bill, we'd love to create all this great content. We love the concept of content marketing. When exactly are we going to do that between the selling and the matching and the interviewing and all the other stuff that we've got to do? Because we don't have any opportunity to do that. So I think you have two choices, and the two choices you have, the two routes, or you can take a blended route and do a bit of both, is to create, which is creating your own natural, authentic content, or curate. Curate is collecting other people's stuff and sharing it out in the world. Now, if you are, for instance, let's say you are a recruiter who recruits auditors, then following collecting content about audit, the latest news, the latest legislation, whatever it might be, collecting audit content and then sharing it out, will naturally attract people who are interested in audit. The more specific the content is, the less interesting it is to the outside world, the more likely, while you're not going to get great readership and pick up, those people that do are going to be very, very relevant. I think this is a trick a lot of people miss, is saying, right, okay, yeah, popular content gets shared about, that's good from a branding point of view. Very technical, niche content might only get picked up by 5 or 10 people, but you know there's 5 or 10 people going to be on the money when it comes to being candidates or clients. Now, what the bit I like about Engage in the share bar is that when it goes out, exactly the same as visibly, visib.li, you can put links to your jobs. So I will share audit content. Just at the top, I'm saying, and if you want to have a look at the job, here are some jobs you might want to go and have a look at. So I think that's
Visibly is now shareby.co.
Shareby.co.
Oh, hold on, no, it's this came up last time round. It's shared by.co. They've changed their name, so that's the address.
Effectively doing the same thing though, the analytics. Perhaps Louis, you might want to explain a little bit what shared by is.
Yeah, well, you can essentially personalize any content you're sharing with your own bar at the top that can include your links to your social profiles, an RSS feed of your own blog that rotates, your logo, a theme. It's free as well.
Magic number.
That's the bit I use. Yeah, anything I share with my network, I personalised with that bar. So, and it does.
And how do you find that works for you, Louis? How do you find it works in terms of either attracting people to follow you or?
It gets click-throughs. People certainly are interested in click-through to the website. I also think it's generally just a good thing for brand awareness, really, that vague concept. But if your logo and your RSS feed is on everything you share, doesn't seem to be any downsides to that. So
yeah, everything linking back somewhere to bringing you back to a base point. So it's very easy for people to connect or find or see your message. And for recruiters, I think for recruiters, the key point is it means you could send out the links to your jobs with content. You're giving people good, high quality content, and the price that they are paying for that, because nothing in this world is free, the price that they're paying for it is to see the link that they want to click on.
You can have a list. You can have an RSS feed of your jobs at the top.
Yeah, which is exactly what I like. I think what you're doing then is you're using all of your shared activity, all of your content, and the other benefit is anyone who then shares that shares your content into the world at large. So I'm a big fan of the share bar, and it gives you great analytics. Okay, I Tweet Live is the next one I want to bring up. I love this application. I don't hear nearly enough about it, and I hear nearly enough people talking about it. The first time I heard about it and saw it, it was one of those where you look at it and you go, this solves my problem. This solves an issue that I have. I want to be able to collect all the kinds of tweets in by content, by geek word, or however I want to do that. But I don't want to be sending equally. I don't want to be just broadcasting the same message to everyone. So I want to collect all the tweets of a certain type in one place. Say, for instance, everyone using the hashtag SocialAgency notification. and I want to be able to see what those tweets are, and I want to be able to reply either to all of them, to 4 of them, to 1 of them, to segment them by groups, however I want to do it. I use iTweet Live to do that. I can populate iTweet Live by searches of all of Twitter, or I can do it by location. I can then reply to groups or individuals, so I can segment the people I want to talk to, or I can say actually just this one, or these 3, or these 2. Gives me analytics of what works, and A/B testing is a great one to say, right, let's send this message off to these 3, this message off to these 3, see which one they actually respond to, and you can list make. So you can collect all the people, put them in a Twitter list. See a Twitter list you sent a message to, you can put that somewhere else, embed your Twitter list into a TweetDeck column, which means all the people we've identified, because they're in this discipline, or they went to this event, or they work for this company, we've put in this list. We have put this list. We've put this list into a column. Now we're ready. Now we're ready to go away. So that's iTweet Live. I'm a pretty big fan of that. The next one coming up, bit of a commercial, but I think it is one I need to add. The colleague add-on. Louis, do you want to tell us a bit about the colleague add-on? I've used it. It works with Internet Explorer, so on the odd occasion I go into IE, I'll use the colleague add-on. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I did plug this in the last one as well. Very briefly, there is a bar at the top of Internet Explorer you can install. That's free. That allows you to do fairly basic Boolean searches more easily. You can search over websites, over social media profiles for individuals, clients, whatever you're looking for. And the other element to it is a sidebar drop-down, which is available to our customers because it integrates with the colleague CRM, where you can then automatically draw back data from a page you're on. Say you're on a Twitter profile, you can draw back company information or contact information or client, candidate information, find their name, it'll find their emails, it'll find all their social profiles, and you can then save that information back into your database. So we're really seeing that as that's now where our the recruiters that use Colleague will now start with the Colleague add-on, rather than pasting stuff in. Rather, it's a time saver. So we'll see that as start of that new process. You'll start with the Colleague add-on. You can do your searches with that easily. You can get your data back into CRM. Anyway, that's the end of that plug.
and I think John's done an excellent job. I hear good things about it from everyone, apart from Internet Troll Mark Drees, but never mind about that. I hear great things about. Yeah, I hear great things about Colleague add-on. So well done on that product. It came out.
We've had some nice. Yeah, we've had some nice feedback, and John, the developer, there's a video he did, a 10-minute video, just going through it, and you can get it on colleague.eu. It's on our goodies section, actually.
It's free. Magic number. It's free.
It is free.
Yeah,
there's loads of other tools on there.
Go get it, and play with it. And if I think it's probably worth mentioning, as you have. Just giving another shout out for the goodies and free tools white paper section on the Colleague website. Go in and have a look at that. Next one, anyone
that's growing. I welcome stuff on it.
Yeah.
Any recommendations for that? Please send them in. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So next one, next one I want to talk about is Social Bro. Anyone who ever hears me talking about Twitter will hear me talking about Social Bro. I love this application. Social Bro. There's a paid-for version, but the free version is perfectly ample.
I've just started using the paid-for version, actually. Very useful.
Yeah, tell us what the difference is and what you pay for it, Louis.
Well, the difference, I may not have looked into enough, but the main reason I wanted the paid-for version was to increase the size, the number of accounts you could integrate it with effectively. So you have on Social Bro your friends, which is your entire Twitter network, people you're following, and people that are following you, and these add up into a total, And when you add other people's accounts, say Bill's in, where there's thousands of people following him and he's following thousands, that increases your total. So you have to pay to get a higher threshold. Does that make sense? That was a bit
it does. And what are you paying for it? Just to give people an example.
I think that ours was about £100. I'm on the Premium Plus, and I'm monitoring certain accounts and being a bit sneaky and monitoring certain keywords, and it sends you an alert. It sends you an update of their new followers and who they've just started following. So very good for market intelligence.
Spying. Very good for spying.
It is spying, I'm afraid. I'm a spy.
There's no need to apologise. No need to apologise for that. But Social Bro, so you think well worth spending £100 on once you've got into it from the free
It's
version?
£100 a year, yes, very well. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So and it gives you Twitter analytics. Big thing for me is list building. Being able to build lists. I talked a little bit earlier. I think the most powerful feature in Twitter, which is underused, is list building. It's also got follow, unfollow, and quite a lot of other cool stuff that you can have a look at.
It might be obvious to say, but people try and do these things manually that Social Bro does automatically, and they spend hours on it a week trying to do it manually.
Spend hours a week and then say social media isn't working. It's a time suck.
Yeah. It's worth spending money sometimes on some of these tools just for the additional time it saves, and therefore it's saving money. Really, might be an obvious point, but
no,
that's why I do it.
Exactly right. I agree with you on that one. Okay, next one, free one once again. Falcon.io. I love this tool. It's a Chrome extension. So again, an extension or application. I think we have prizes for Robin Scornick and Amanda Ashworth going out on that one for getting that answer right. It's a Chrome extension. It works with Twitter, TweetDeck, GitHub, and now Hack News. And it gives you instant social links. I really like it because if I just tell you a little bit about how it works, it sits on top of my TweetDeck. If I see a name that's interesting, I hover over it and just hover my mouse over it, click on it, and up it comes and says, "Here's." It will give me links to their Foursquare, their LinkedIn.
I'm not getting any LinkedIn ones. Is that just my connections, or?
No, you get the LinkedIn location, but you don't get the profile.
Right. Okay. But it does do most of the others actually. So.
Yeah. It's very easy to save and export, and it's free. It's free. So, what do you think of it, Louis? You're just having a look at that.
I use it. I use it. It's great, really. You're on Twitter. You want some more information very quickly. That's the point of it. So it's another time saver, worth having.
Yeah. Okay. And next one. Terrible name, terrific product. Talent Bin. Talent Bin is a really strong database aggregator of data, what they call aggregation of informal data. So it's taking all of your informal data, not from LinkedIn, but from everywhere else, all of your tweets, all of your updates, washing it down and filtering it to say these are the things that are interesting related to your. It's what Peter Kazanstein, the founder, who's done a great job at it, what he would call informal formal content, which is professional or formal content or clues that you're leaving on the web somewhere, which tells a story about you or what you do, things that help us to build up a good profile without it being formally attached. So it does all that, has a data filter, as a profile aggregator. It's completely searchable. There's a free while Talent Bin is paid for, there is a free app you can use, and a mobile app which is called Talent Bin Lookup, which enables you to actually quickly access the database. The idea of it was that you'd be able to see people. The idea of it was that you'd be able to see people at networking events and just look them up on your mobile phone, find out who they are, and see their data. So Talent Bin is one that I would say go and have a look at that, see what you think.
Robin likes Falcon, so there's another endorsement.
Robin likes Falcon. I'm pleased to hear that.
Yeah. I thought you should know.
I believe Falcon likes Robin. Okay, so that's my that's 14 cool tools we've had a quick look through. We've also added, of course, LinkedIn, Signal, and everything else. Anything else coming in from the Twitter stream, Louis, or anything else you want to talk about? We've got just a couple of minutes left till the end of the show.
Mark just tweeted that things like this are making recruitment interesting again. I'm not. Yeah, Robin likes Falcon. I've heard that one. Internet stalking. What a surprise! That kind of Twitter.
Yeah. I'm the number one stalker. I'm the number one stalker. You can guarantee that I'll be stalking, watching, and seeing what people are doing.
Yeah, and they're sharing the colleague add-on, which I obviously greatly appreciate. So. That's great. Yeah, I was going to mention one more tool that I got from Andy Hedworth, actually, the Mention one that's just come out. Have you seen that, Bill?
I have, but yeah, tell us about it.
It's just if you use Google Alerts or Topsy or Social Mention, they're always monitoring keywords online, and it emails you an update if it finds these keywords over social media channels, on websites, wherever. And I just find this. I think I reflect what Andy was saying about it. It was a very good tool. It seems to be very accurate. I seem to be getting more reliable email updates from it. So it's a monitoring intelligence tool for the entire web, essentially. Would that be right, Bill? Yeah.
That would be right, and it was a good find by Andy, and definitely one that's worth watching. Just before we close off, I just want to make one announcement for anyone listening in. Somewhere towards the end of the month of May, Robin Schooling, who's on this Hangout, is going to be buying her first ever lottery ticket. And the reason she's buying her first ever lottery ticket is after a career at the lottery as an inmate within HR. She is going off on a new venture and setting up on her own. One of the things she's going to be doing is speaking with me. We do joint presentations at the Society of Human Resources and hopefully at some point over here in Europe. So I just wanted to finish the show by wishing Robin well and best of luck in the crazy world of working for yourself. I'm sure everyone would join me in wishing her well in her escape for the lottery, and may her numbers come up with the first ticket she buys.
Good luck, Robin. Robin should join us again, I think. I think she joined us a few months ago on our second Hangout.
On our second Hangout. Yeah,
please do feel free again, Robin. So, more the merrier.
Yeah. When you don't have a job, you'll be able to tune in every week. Although hopefully you'll be too busy. So thanks everyone for listening in. I hope you found it useful. Keep the tools coming in, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. And I've got a real special hangout I'm going to put out that time that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about on the blog. So thanks everybody.
You could tell me about it as well.
I'll keep you in the dark.
Okay, thanks very much for that, Bill. I'll make sure the SlideShare is put on the colleague page. It's streaming on right now, so I'll embed that on there if everyone wants that. So, thank you. Have a good weekend, everyone.
The other tool we should say to everyone: go get SlideShare for sharing your documents, because it makes a world of difference. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Take care. Bye.